Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Carranza, and I am a CPS reunification coach. I am the founder of Transformation Through Reunification. I am a court approved expert witness. I have testified in 6 states in dependency court. I'm an expert in reunification. And let's see, I have a charity that helps parents get retainers for private attorneys. And oh, I have 3 books coming out this year and a talk show possibly, but that is way in the future. It's probably 2024. And that ruckus you hear in the background is my son and his puppy. We are up in Lake Arrowhead and we have been trapped inside a snowball for a little while. So they're a little antsy. But I was a victim of CPS, DCFS, whatever the hell they're calling themselves these days. So I was a victim. I had my daughter illegally seized based on false accusations by my ex-husband, my husband at the time. And I left dependency court with my custody intact. And I decided to, this was what I was going to do. I was going to help parents. So I wanted to give you guys a little tip on how to deal with all of the paperwork in dependency court or in family court. You want to get yourself one of those binders. Now, I put pictures of my loved ones and things that make me happy in my binder because when you're sitting there in court and you're hearing all this horrible stuff about yourself, you can look down at the front of your folder and realize it's not true. There's people that love you, you're supported. You don't have to hear all that nonsense. So, binder, and then in your binder, each tab have something else. I got that, and I was a little bit like, F you. Kissed it. But so I fax a lot of stuff because San Bernardino County is way behind and they don't let you submit stuff online, which is really strange. So I fax everything and then I have a tab here for all the times I faxed. So the court can't say that I didn't fax it or I didn't receive it or I didn't do it in time. And then you want to have your orders. And then stuff that was returned from the court that you had to resend back. And then what I like to do is I like to print out Talking Parents messages. I suggest everybody gets Talking Parents. It's fantastic. There's a calendar in there. Everything is recorded. Everything's admissible in court. It's used as evidence. It's great. So in the calendar, what I do is every time my ex-husband violates our custody order, I put it in the calendar because you can't change it. They can't edit it. Only you can, and if you delete it, it still is there. It's still saved in a deleted file. And the courts have access to that stuff. They get access to your talking parent, so they can see if there's any verbal abuse, if there's any tomfoolery happening. So I suggest talking parents, and that way, usually people are on their best behavior with communication during a talking parents message. Unless you're my boyfriend's ex, then she's has no filter and it's insane. But all that stuff gets used in court. So remember that. Don't go off the rails in talking parents. Don't do it anyway. It's going to hurt you, but especially in talking parents because the courts can access that account. You can also set up like I think child support and stuff through there. But I love it for the calendar. So every time there's a violation, I drop it in the calendar and then at the end of the month I print it out and it literally prints out like a calendar and then you can submit that to the court. And my ex loves to not bring my daughter to my time. So think we're at 45 violations of our custody order. We have another hearing coming up. Um, it's all printed out beautifully on a calendar. So use that. Get yourself an email address, a new one. Go get a free Gmail or something, and use that only for communications in your case between your lawyer, your caseworker, your social worker, and that way none of your personal stuff gets mixed in or accidentally forwarded on to your caseworker, and then you can just type in what you're looking for in the search bar and it's all chronological. So get yourself an email address for specifically for this matter, whatever it is. If you're in family court, if you're in dependency court, use it only for those kinds of communications. Do not communicate with the social worker under any circumstance unless your attorney tells you otherwise, but don't do it in person or over the phone. Email or text messages, tell them the most efficient, fastest way to get a hold of you is through an email. That way everything's in writing and they can't twist what you said. So do that. Um, I think that's it for right now. I was putting stuff into my binder and I wanted to give you a little trick that really helps me because before I started doing that, I had paperwork everywhere, everywhere. And then if you need to complain about officials in your case, like the therapist or the judge or the caseworker, get you a different binder. So I have this one, and this is for the complaint on the therapist in my case. I'm suing her and I'm complaining about her. So see, you complain to the Board of Behavioral Science, and any kind of email you get from them, any kind of communication you get from them, even if they say they're not going to investigate, put it in a folder and put it away. You never know what you're going to need if you're going to come back around and you're going to sue the county federally. So I have one for the judge in my case. I have one for the therapist. I have one for several caseworkers. But that way they're not in your main folder. So you're not carrying around this gargantuan thing. And then you can just go. So you need something for court for the judge. Say they're doing an investigation on the judge and you have a hearing. You have to go to a hearing against the judge. Just pull out your little folder. Here you go. Or you're suing the therapist like I am. All of our communication, all text messages, even my Zooms were recorded. So she's kind of in trouble. But do that. Document everything. Always, 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 always. And I will see you guys later.